Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're going to be looking at the 1/6 scale Hellman figure by Artoys. First and foremost, I have to say, this is not a Hellboy figure, okay? It is definitely not Hellboy. It's clearly a 1/6 scale red-bodied figure with like a ponytail and big black sideburns and leather trousers and leather boots, and it has like a tattooed motif all over his body. And yeah, okay, he may have horns that, you know, he likes to file down all the time, and you know, he carries a crucifix on his belt and he carries really big guns, and fuck, it's Hellboy, isn't it? Yeah, it's Hellboy. Roll VT. Okay guys, I've just received this figure in the mail, and so let's just have a quick look at what we get. It's obviously got Hellman written on the front, and it's got 1/6 scale collectible figure, and it's got the Artoys logo. Has a nice big sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, like a filtered picture of Hellboy on the front here. It's, I don't know, it feels a little washed out to me. I know it's filtered and it's probably deliberately made that colour, but I don't know, faded, or they just couldn't do with the colours or anything. It's got some stripe pattern here. It does have some spot UV on the actual box. They seem to love that recently. I think you can shine it up, you can see the reflection of the spot UV on the Hellman logo. As we turn it to the side, you can see it's got a picture of not Hellboy on the side there, and some more striping, and that's got spot UV on it as well. It's an okay picture, but obviously it's got some Photoshop cutting around the edge, and actually you can still see the edging. There's some gap there that you can see between there. That's, you know, it's okay, it's not amazing. Then you come to the back, and it's got another really faded filtered picture on the back. Looks like it's been left out in the sun too long. You know when you go into a shop and you buy a box and it's clearly been in the window too long? Well, that's this whole box. It's not a bad thing, but it is, you know, something I noticed. And obviously you got the Hellboy picture again there. Got some warnings, Artoys and made in China. Come around to the side, and you've got just more of the pattern, a bit more of the faded pink and red cyan sort of colour there. Not very bright cyan, but still. And it's got this word here, oh crap. Can you see that? It just says oh crap, which I assume, you know, they're trying to quote Hellboy from the movie. And it it just looks like they're saying, oh crap, we've gone and ripped off a figure. And then we got BPRD at the top. That's nice and faded. It sort of melds in with the actual background of the cyan colour. I'm not sure what that means. I think that I'll try and remember the name of exactly where he works for. And then it's got it on the bottom there as well. Okay guys, let's crack this open and see what we get. Okay guys, we get this lovely foam insert on the inside of the box, and as we pull it down, we get this fall out, and it's got the Hellman logo on. It's got a picture of Hellboy on there, and I don't know if you can see, but it's actually cut around, and it looks to me like this is the sticker for the base. Like you'll be able to stick that onto the round base of the figure. I'll show you that in a minute. That's a good idea, I like that, but I think most people aren't going to want Hellman on this. They're going to want another name. Very similar, but not this name. And the picture's not great. It's a really nice ad though. I really like the fact that they threw this in probably at the last minute, but it's a good touch. Okay, and here we are on the inside. We've got the inserts. We've got the figure itself. He's got some protective clothing over his face. No protective stuff on here. It's not too bad, but you can see he's got 4 head sculpts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see the boots there. He's got a gun here. He's got some sort of pleather belt. And there's obviously stuff behind here as well. So once I take this guy out, I'll show you what we've got on the inside. Okay, I just noticed this on the bottom of the insert of the box. You've got red Anungun, Red Anungun Rama. Red Anungun Rama. Rama, red, fuck knows. So maybe it will hit me in a minute, and halfway through the video I'll be like, oh, it means that! But for the moment, I have no idea what that means. Okay, and here we have behind everything that he's got in the inserts of the box. I'll break this down in a minute. I won't read them all out to you now. I'm going to fix this figure up, put everything on him, and then we'll see where we go from there, alright? Okay guys, here's everything out of the box. I now get what the oh crap on the side of the box is, because simply oh crap do you get some bang for your buck. Now it took me a couple of seconds to put the belt on because it was all disassembled, but when you actually get this thing together you can see exactly what you get, and it's quite extensive. First and foremost, I decided to take the arm and hand off of him because I wanted to just show you the body first and show you exactly what you get and what type of body it is. I know a lot of people have been asking, what is it? Is it the Hot Toy one? Is it a recast of something else? I believe this is actually a recast of the Damn Toys version from several years ago. I think even way back to maybe 2011 or something like that. This was Damn Toys' attempt at doing an unlicensed figure, I think, and I think they kind of got away with it, but you know, as their reputation grew and they've managed to do other figures and more licensed stuff, I don't think they can do it anymore. But you know, obviously this company Artoys has either got the molds for it or they've just recast from another figure that they had and made this one. I'm just so super impressed with everything you get, especially for the price of this figure. I think I paid about $160 in total. And for everything you get here, that's quite good. Now if we come over, you can actually see, I'm going to bring this camera forward, no cuts, and just show you the body. I'm going to take him off here and we're just going to get to the meat, but as you can see, the kind of body he's got is like this rubberized over a skeleton. I think it's a metal frame, but it could even be like just a normal stock body with some metal pieces fitted into it. You can feel it, look, it's squishy and squeezy, and it feels a little hollow inside in some parts. It's not all fully filled out. See? So that is a little bit of a shame. But on the chest area you can see. Now the reason I know you can tell this is the Damn Toys version is because the sculpting of the swirls and stuff is not as perfect as say the Hot Toys one. The Hot Toys one was just exemplary in that respect. But as you can see, you come across and there is a big unevenness between the two pecs. Like this one's a bit squashed in, like someone's just pressed their thumb on it accidentally too long. And that was in the Damn Toys original. So that's how you can easily tell. I mean, obviously the bodies, if you look at the Hot Toys version to this, is different as well, really. But that's just a simple indication of how you can tell. The paint app on this rubber is really, really good. You can see there's actually shading in there with the muscles, more deeper into the abs and things like that. And there's some veinage. And you've obviously got the tattooing and sculpting. There is an inaccuracy on the back. I think this has got, not sure, there's little tiny flecks of shininess in there. I don't know if that's they've spilt some or they wanted to try and get a minor sweat effect on the body. But there is some like little flecks of shine in there. So maybe they've either overpainted it at some points to try and compensate, or they've missed bits or something like that. But if we come back, there is a defect on the back here. Just on here, there's some sort of, I don't know what that is. It feels a bit rough here. I think you can hear it. It's a bit rough there, so I don't know what's happened, but still wholly impressed. I'm not normally enamoured with the rubber bodies simply because of, you know, the faults and the flaws that you can get with them. I originally had the Hot Toy figure for about 3 days and I opened it up. It looked great, but I was a little bit underwhelmed. Every time I looked at it, saw what it was made out of, saw how it fitted, the tail was loose and things like that. It just felt like that thing was about to fall apart, like it was about to crumble into dust. It just didn't feel right, and I think it's going to degrade over time. Do I think this will probably degrade over time? Yeah, more than likely. But then I didn't pay that much money as I did for the Hot Toy version, and then I got a refund on that anyway, just simply because it just wasn't up to scratch in my eyes. But my god, the amount of stuff you get with this guy. What I'm going to do now is, now that I've shown you the body, I'm going to go down, I'm going to show you the belt, I'm going to show you the trousers, the shoes, and then we're going to go on to the accessories. Maybe I'll try and get some articulation done, put the coat on, Bob's your uncle. There's a lot to get through, let's get on with it. Okay, so as you can see, I've managed to put the belt together. Now this has been quite a fiddly affair really, because of me having to put all the pouches on and the gun strap on. So my first tip to you is, if you do get this figure, put this gun strap on first. You've got to feed it around this side and bring it all the way around. Feed it on, put this one on first, because I put all the pouches on, then realised this had to go on this end, had to take them all off, and it can be a bit of a pain in the butt to do. As you can come around, you can see this belt is made of like a pleather, and there's some notching in there. Now, one of the things I will say is I've had to do pleather before. I made Bill the Butcher's knife set out of pleather as well, and it is a little bit touchy at times. It can, as soon as you cut it, it can start to degrade a little bit, and that's where I think you can see, I don't know if you can come right under, but you can see that there is going to be a bit of fraying under there. Now what I recommend for that is you buy some clear fabric glue and you just lightly dab it around the edges. You don't get any on the pleather on this side, but you get it around the other side, and just on the edges you can use a really thin brush just to lightly dab it on. Slowly but surely. You could even do 2 or 3 layers if you really wanted to. And that will solidify it and seal it all off, and it will stop any fraying from happening. So that's exactly what I'm going to do once I've finished, is I'm going to get some fabric glue and I'm going to stop all the fraying around there. But the belt itself is a really nicely stitched, nicely made item. There's so much in here. You can see the belt buckle there. It has the official logo there, which is really nice. The buckle is quite movie accurate. There's no real bleeding off of the red into the silver. I really like that belt buckle. I think it's really good. As we come across, we can see now these beads I think hang a little low. I think that might need to be doctored and these brought up a little bit and more chain hanging down, because they swing past his knee, and I'm not sure. That should probably be up there a little more, just around there. So that's what I'm going to do. Once I finish, I'll probably doctor that. And then you got all these pouches, and these pouches are beautiful. Really well stitched, really well made. They fill out quite well and they're quite padded, and these are really nice. I can't really fault them. They work so well and they're really, really effective. Sometimes figures that should have pleather pouches don't. I'm looking at you, Hot Toys. Sometimes you can make pouches on a belt that's made of plastic and solid. Maybe they won't last as long, but when you do things like this, it really does exemplify a certain kind of craft that's slowly becoming rarer in 1/6 scale figures. And then of course you've got that gun pouch where the gun fits in itself. As we come down, you can see, oh my god. Right, I've actually smelled, like, it's going to sound weird. I gave these trousers a sniff. I really did. I gave them a sniff because I was like, these feel quite tough. And I smelt them and they smell like real leather to me. And I think 1/6 kit actually confirmed that it was real leather. And it smells like real leather. That's amazing, isn't it? That's great. Real leather trousers, that's what we want. And they've got, obviously they're movie accurate, they've got the stitching. And they've got this padding here. Now I think I think if you wanted to get this, like your Hot Toys version is starting to degrade and it's starting to have problems. I think if they kit bashed a few of these and separated them out, you could get these trousers and replace your original ones, and I don't think you'd have much of a complaint. Let's go around the back here. See, there's fine stitching all the way up the back. Bang. Looks good, doesn't it? I think so anyway. And then we come down and then we have these I think these are real pleather boots, but they have stitching all the way around the back. There's no weathering or anything, which is a bit of a shame. They haven't really done any. But that's something you can do with a little dry brush and a little bit of brown, maybe a little bit of black, maybe a little bit of light cream, you know, just real super fine dry brushing, not a lot. And I do like that you have the choice. If you wanted to dry brush these a little and make them a bit more muddy, you could. There's no real problem. For the price, you wouldn't feel too bad for doing it. And then you've got the bottom soles of the feet, which I think are plastic. And I give that a big thumbs up. Okay, let's move on to the accessories. Let's see what he actually comes with. Lock, stock, and, well, 2 barrels really. Okay, first and foremost, he comes with the red right hand. And it comes in 3 parts because these 2 bits go together and they can be replaced with the closed fist. As we can see, the detail in this is really, really good. Works all the way around. There's a little bit of flexibility in it. Has the great textures. It's got the cracking on the back of the hand. Some sculpting. It does look hand sculpted as well, which is sometimes nice. I really like to see some hand sculpting. Really adds to the piece. Then of course you've got this bit protector, I guess, and that's got some texture in it. And it's been, I think, had a wet wash over it, a little bit dry brushing to make it more dirty. Sadly, you do have a lot of flashing inside the hand there, which is a shame. But you can easily rub that out a little bit. Now, should it be like that? Probably not. I mean, you're paying a nice price for it, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I'm more than happy to loosen that up with a tiny bit of like a file or something like that, just to take the flashing out to make it a little bit more freely pull on and offable, if that's a scientific word. And then of course we've got the forearm, and the forearm has some great sculpting in there, nice textures, great black wash, swirling patterns, some cracking. It's definitely Hellboy's hand, you wouldn't mistake it. How movie accurate it is, I don't know. I think it might actually, could probably do with a bit more of a wider sort of scratches in there to make it all the sort of wider swirls, try and make it a bit more movie accurate, but it still looks great. And then of course you get the fist, it's still got cool knuckles, just in case you want him to look like he's ready to punch someone in the head. Full on aggression. Then of course you've got this hand, it's an open palm hand for his left. It's got some good sculpting in there. I think this could be a recast from the Artoys version. Good details, good enough. Nice reds. Matches the rubber suit quite well. Don't look, you can see the scratching on the fingernails. It's nice, but you can see there's more flashing inside that needs cleaning out. And of course you get this hand, gun holding hand for the left, and it's gloved. And you can see there's fine stitching details in the hand. You can see there's creasing all the way around. There's a little buckle there from the looks of it. Goes all the way on the inside, it's still creased. Still got the ruffling of the glove inside by the fingers. And of course we have the fingers themselves again. Fingernails, very detailed, and the knuckles and the fingers have texture in them. And there's no flashing in that one, that's good. It's nice and clean. This, I have no freaking idea where this is supposed to go. Maybe this is supposed to go on his leg, or maybe I'm supposed to swap it around for the thing there for the leg strap, because this leg strap here is quite loose. So maybe this is to go on and replace that so it can be adjustable. Who knows? I can't really tell right now. And then of course you have Big Baby. You can see he's got some nice details in the handle. So there's Big Baby, and it actually has the motif there, little screw sculpted there. It's got the nodule on the back. I thought there might be something hanging off the end of this, but there isn't. It's got the trigger hand, and this moves out like a pump action, a bit like a Terminator shotgun. Then we bring this across, we can pull this out, open it up, the Big Baby bottles, because baby needs feeding, right? See? It's a nice little detail on there. You take them, you pop them in here. A little tight, and when you put them in there, I suspect you'll start to rub that off. So maybe you want to loosen that up a little bit, again with a file in there, just to loosen it all up. There's not much weathering or anything like that on it. It's pretty clean. Not a deal breaker, but a bit of a letdown. And we can see there's some etching and some moulding and sculpting all the way along. Some writing there. BPRD. Boom. This gun. A nice design. It's got the logo on the handle. It's material. Twisty tie on the bottom. Made of pleather from the looks of it. Really good handle. It's quite plastic, but doesn't look too bad. Not a lot of weather into it though. And it opens up. And this turns. But the bullets don't come out. You see, there's not a lot of weathering on that either. I think that could do with a little bit more. Definitely get yourself familiar with dry brushing, guys, when you get things like this, because they will improve your figure quite a lot. Just buy some gunmetal acrylic, dab it on the paintbrush, rub it all off till you can't see any more coming, and then gently just run it across the little bits you want, little notches here and there. And I promise you, tiny, tiny little bits of paint will come off. Sometimes you'll be rubbing it and it will look like you're not doing anything. But I promise you, stuff is coming off, and slowly but surely it will build up. And of course you've got the bullets, and then we've got this cigar. One of his stogies that he likes to smoke. And of course I think that goes into this head sculpt. But I don't know how it goes into the head sculpt. 100% certain how it's supposed to fit. But anyway, I'll figure that out later. Of course, now we go on to the head sculpts. We've got this one here, which is the full-on horned version. It's got some nice hair around the back. There's no point in me showing you the hair on every single one of them, because they're going to be pretty much the same. You come across, he's got the nice eyes. They're not crooked, they're quite nice. Only problem I can see really are the teeth. You see there's not enough gaps between that middle bit of the teeth. It looks painted on, which is a shame, but I think you can get away with that. And there's some nice texture in that skin. And the paint application is really clean, really. Some darkening around the horns. And then you've got the, I don't know, I dread to call it a top knot. Don't go play Hellboy as having a top knot. He's not a Shoreditch wanker, but he's like a Japanese style on the back of his head. In fact, he has quite a samurai look to him. Of course, he's got his little goatee there. It's quite clean. Let's go on to this one here, which is the snarling one, which is the same variant as the calm one that he's got on his head right now. And it's got the same details as the other one did. I'll just come around. Focus. You see the skin texture, the teeth, the soul patch. The eyes are the same colour and they're not wonky or anything. Pointy ears, really nice sculpting on them ears actually. And then you've got the horns. The horns feel a little prominent, like they stick out quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's deliberate. Maybe they could have been shortened down a little bit. Stick out way too much, but they are good. And he's got the samurai bow on the back of his head. And this one here, this is an interesting one. This is the 4th head sculpt, surprise head sculpt. Someone on Sideshow Freaks called it. He said, I bet you it's going to be the Numo head sculpt. They're going to recast it and use it. And lo and behold, he was right. I don't know why. I mean, I would have thought they would have gotten hold of a Hot Toy version, recast that and given you that. But it's nice to have this different variant. This is far more closer to the comic books. And yeah, I think it is a shame that they went and recast Numo's head sculpt. I don't know if they had permission or anything like that, or if they just bought one and just recast it. But this is the extra head sculpt you get, and it's really nice. I don't think I'm going to pose him with it, but yeah, it's definitely more comic book orientated. In case you wanted that, you really could have it. And then of course you've got the traditional museum pose head sculpt. Same amount of details, but just not with any expression on his face really, other than just a stern look. And they're all really nicely painted. There's no real dodgy paint apps on any of the head sculpts. They seem to work really well. Only issue I've got a little bit is the teeth, because the teeth are a little bit sloppy in places, but they're nice and shiny. And from this far back, I don't think you could tell very much. But it's really nice to have the horn variant, a snarling non-horned variant, and then a museum pose variant. And that 4-cell head sculpt for the pre-orders was a real nice touch, although I suspect everybody's going to get that head sculpt whether you pre-ordered or not. And then of course you get this black t-shirt that he wears, and this has got some cuts in it, quite movie accurate cuts actually, and there's some little red stitching around there, and it looks pretty good. I think I'm going to pose him with this, just because there are some mild inaccuracies in that rubber body here. Kind of makes it a little bit wonky at side like this, but that was on the original, so it's not like I'm showing off something that's a factory defect or something. It was on the original cast that they've used, so maybe they just used the mould. Okay guys, let me show you some quick articulation. Head sculpt seems to turn. There was a little bit of restriction because of the rubber body. I get a feeling that could rub the rubber body a little bit there, but as long as you've got the head sculpt blocking it. So I would lift the head sculpt up a little bit and then turn it, and then pose it downwards as best you want. But he's got some really good head turning. About there, there. Gets all the way down to his chin really, although it does expose the back quite a lot. Push it down, goes all the way down to his chin quite nicely. Bring it back up, push it back down. And because of the rubber body, you can push his head back a little bit, but you don't want to push it back too much, because you're going to start getting some seal in there, but you can look up quite a bit. Arms comes up to about there, but you can see the rubber body's restrict it and bring it back down. The arm and the elbow is a bit of a wide, so you can get him about there, but then it starts to fold in, starts to pop out a little bit, which is normal with rubber bodies. You can even get that with some of the nicer rubber bodies out there. Virtually no ab crunch to speak of. There's not a lot of waist swivel either, but then the legs come all the way up to about there, and then come to about there, and bend in the foot, and then you get this ankle pivot that's the left and right, up to there, down to there. Should be able to get some nice movement from the leg. Legs go out to about here, restricted by the possibly real leather trousers, and they go back to about there. And here's a nice little bit of articulation for you. That's the tail sticking out the back, and it's bendable, so you can bend his tail to any shape you want. You can even get it up here somewhere. Nice bend in the tail. You can move it around so that you can actually get it into a pose you want and not have it in the way every 5 seconds. It's a nice touch. And yeah, that's about it guys. Okay, I'm going to get all his gear on, put him together, and we'll see what we got at the end. I'm currently trying to put the t-shirt on, and I'll tell you what, if you want me to try and take this back off, you can suck a hi-ho hard one, because I am never taking this t-shirt off. It is a pain in the ass to get on. And finally I managed to get the t-shirt on, and that's him with it on, and I've also put the coat on. I'm probably never taking that off again, it was too much of a pain in the ass. But we're going to come around and we're going to have a look at the coat. You see it's quite a nice fabric, really great. It's got the pockets sewn into the detail there. Some great stitching around the cuffs. We come across a nice little shamrock logo on the arm there, which is very movie accurate. That's such a nice touch. I get the logo pleather stitched onto the, don't know what you'd call this, the rain protector part. And of course we've got the collar here. It's got a nice sort of leathery style to it, but weathered and worn, which is good. It's also got some straps, some nice fine buckles just here, and they've even come with the actual supports for the buckles. Speaking of which, if you come around you can see there's 3 more on his red right hand, nicely finely stitched. I mean, I've got no complaints for this coat, it looks great. And we've got some buttons all the way down the side here, great stitching, and there's a nice separate lining on the inside, not much on the outside here. One of the issues is the coat does not come down over the tail and it pushes it out the back a little bit. The coat, it's not fully formed to fit around the tail so well. It's a small niggly problem, but it is there. And here he is with the horned head sculpt on, and here he is with the full special head sculpt, credit where credit's due, Numos head sculpt. Okay guys, that is Hellman, aka Hellboy. Overall, I am really impressed with this figure. For the price, it's just got so much bang for its buck. Admittedly, it does fall short in a few places. There isn't much weathering to the weapons. The t-shirt is an absolute pain to get on. The hollow rubberized body arms, when you fold them all the way up, they don't look great. So it's not a great figure to pose without the coat or the t-shirt on, which is a shame. But the trousers, top notch. The 4 head sculpts, I mean, come on. You couldn't ask for more, really. There's 3 specific head sculpts based on the movie. Then you get a 4th one that's not even from the film, and it will give you more of a comic book look for Hellboy if you really want. He comes with a load of accessories. Most are fitted onto his belt. The boots are real pleather boots. I can't stress how awesome that is. I do love it when people do that. There's such a great coat that he's wearing. There's details, there's little logos on the side. He doesn't come with many hands, which is a shame. He only comes with 2 left and 2 right. I wish he'd come with a little bit more. That would have been nice, but obviously where they were doing all the other stuff as well, they probably didn't get time. You can put the bullets into the big baby, which is great, although they are a little bit stiff to get in there. You do have a cigar, but I've tried to put it in his mouth and I can't. I'm thinking maybe you've got to glue it in, because it certainly won't just slot in there nicely. And he also comes with a sticker for the base if you so wish to put that on there. I don't want to call him Hellman. There's a little sticker on the stand there that's going to come off at some point or get covered over. But that's him, guys. He's definitely, I'd give him a 7 out of 10. You might think that's not a lot for what you get, but he does fall short in a couple of areas. But it is really good paint app, apart from the teeth, and the body isn't the most amazing. I don't know how long this will last over time. I really like the real pleather trousers though. I think they'll outlast everything else that's on this figure. But that's it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, share if you really want to. Really glad I made the video. I'm so glad I bought this figure. Artoys have knocked this one out of the park, and I'm now finally got Hellboy in my collection. Okay guys, if you could just do me a favour now, if you could just stand up and get the fuck out of my cave. I've got stuff to do. You've probably got stuff to do. So let's all just go the fuck home. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye bye. Oh, and I still have no fucking idea what this is for. Ah, it's for Big Baby. Oh well, anyone in the comment section that says, it's for Big Baby, didn't wait till after the credits. What have we learnt in this day and age? Stay till after the credits.